The 2026 January transfer window is just around the corner, and in today's video I have identified 8 possible transfer targets that Bradford City must sign in this transfer window if we want to achieve automatic promotion at the end of this season. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 250 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Out of all my suggestions, who do you think Bradford City should go on and sign? And if you've got any other further suggestions, then let me know that as well down below. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, this is how Bradford City's squad is currently lining up for the 2025-26 campaign. But following on from a video that I did last week, here is how Bradford City's squad could be lining up if all of my departures that I would like to see happen do go on and happen, whether that be permanently or obviously on loan as well. So we clearly have got a few spots which we need it to fill in. Most prominently, I think attacking midfield, I think is going to be a very important position that we're improving in this transfer window. We're definitely going to need a couple of centre-backs, definitely going to need a holding midfielder, and definitely going to need a striker, maybe even 2. So don't be surprised in this video if I don't mention a goalkeeper or a wing-back on either side, because we don't really need them, to be fair. Starting out firstly then with none other than Macaulay Langstaff. It seems like his name has popped up over the last couple of transfer windows, and now I think is the perfect time for us to go and try and sign the 28-year-old on loan for the remainder of this campaign. I don't believe we'll be able to afford to buy Langstaff on a permanent deal. Obviously, if we were able to do that, that'd be brilliant, but let's not forget he has now had a couple of years in the Championship where he's not really scored many goals. He's had just 1 start so far this campaign in the Championship for Millwall, and I thought at the time it was always a pretty strange move, but like I say, not even 300 minutes played so far this campaign. Last year didn't really get that much more football, just 14 starts across the full campaign where he got 1 goal and 2 assists, but we all saw him the last time that he was playing in League 2. Obviously now Bradford City are in League 1, but the last time he was in League 2 where he played a full campaign over 4,000 minutes where he scored at 28 goals and also registered a further 6 assists, 34 goal contributions in 46 appearances. This man certainly knows where the back of the net is. Yes, okay, he missed 29 big chances that campaign. Okay, he had a 16% goal conversion rate, but this man certainly, if you give him service, knows where the back of the net is. And when you look at our striking options, I think Langstaff would certainly blend in well with the options that we have currently got, and I personally believe, as long as, obviously, again, the finances are right, we're obviously not going to be able to afford to pay all of his wages, but on a loan deal until the end of the season, I think it would benefit Langstaff because he'd get game time, Bradford City because he'd come in and score goals, and Millwall, if they're looking to then sell him on potentially, they've got a bit of proven pedigree of him scoring goals at League 1 level. Macaulay Langstaff on loan, I think would be a great signing for Bradford City. From one end of the pitch to another, William Forrester is a Bolton Wanderers centre-back who has massively struggled for game time so far this campaign, largely due to injury, unfortunately. I think he suffered quite a significant hamstring injury back in April for Bolton, and obviously only recently has been returning, but out of a contract with the club in the summer, and if he's not going to be playing football, given the injury, that would practically be a full year of not really playing much first team football. Then it can be very hard for him to get a move in the summer. Bolton are obviously looking to push on and try and get into the Championship, but at 24 years of age, I think there's certainly room here for Bradford City to bring Forrester in on a permanent deal. He's right-footed, around 6 foot tall as well, and with Bradford City wanting to play Aidan Baldwin in the centre of the back 3, only really Matt Pennington can play on the right of that back 3, but I think William Forrester could come in, would certainly be a massive improvement on Neil Byrne. I obviously watched him when Bolton beat Bradford City 3-0, and I thought he had a really good game in that one, kept Humphreys and Cook quiet for the majority of that match without really having to get out of second gear. You go back to last campaign where he was a bit of a regular for Bolton, played half the matches, started 18 of those. Yes, okay, didn't get a goal contribution, but we're looking at 7.3 clearances per game, 3 balls recovered per game, 4 clean sheets, winning 65% of his ground duels and 73% of his aerial duels as well. Very comfortable in possession, 83% accurate pass rate. On a permanent transfer, I think this one will be a great sign for Bradford City. But again, with him being potentially signed from a obviously at the moment a possible promotion rival, maybe that'll bump the price up a little bit and it might make this deal a little bit more tricky for Bradford City. We've had the top, we've had the bottom of the pitch, now we'll focus on the middle. Charlie Webster. Now this deal will be a little bit complicated and we'll come on to that in a moment, but in terms of Charlie Webster as a player, absolutely brilliant, and I think would be a massive improvement to Bradford City's midfield. You all know how big of a fan I am of Jensen Metcalfe, for example, but I think Charlie Webster again will provide some real competition in there. Unfortunately, he does still have 18 months left to run on his contract with Burton, and at 21 years of age, this is not going to be a cheap deal for Bradford City. But unfortunately, if you want promotion, you kind of have to spend money these days, and Charlie Webster certainly won't be cheap, but he would be a brilliant signing for Bradford City. So far this campaign, 16 appearances and starts, playing just shy of 1,400 minutes, where he has registered 4 goals so far this campaign and a further 3 assists as well. He's created 6 big chances, averages 1.3 key passes per game. For a midfielder, less than 1 in every 4 passes is going astray as well. 90% accurate pass rate in his own half. Defensively will bring you a lot as well. 1.3 tackles per game, 5.1 balls recovered per game, 1 clearance per game as well. In terms of his duels, not great. Only 46% of his ground duels won and only 35% of his aerial duels won. So that's maybe something that does let him down slightly, but he has a 60% successful dribble rate. The only problem with Charlie Webster is he is currently injured, and that is not a short-term injury, unfortunately. Now, Charlie Webster had an operation at the beginning of December that went really well, so that's good news. But there was the possibility that when they went in to repair it, it could be a little bit more damage. But it was exactly what was shown on the scans. He'll be out for a couple of months. So that's a little bit of a problem, obviously. You're then having to do a medical on a player, knowing that they're injured, signing an injured player. I could certainly understand why Bradford City would want to avoid this deal, because you never really know how a player is going to return from his injury. And given that it won't be a cheap deal for Bradford City to make, given that Burton won't be desperate to cash in because they've still got a further 18 months left to run on his contract, I could certainly understand why Bradford City wouldn't want to spend the money on somebody like a Charlie Webster. But the upside is clear for all to see. He's only going to go on and do better in his career. I think he's destined to at least play in a championship as well. He's got all the attributes to certainly go on and do that. He creates chances, he scores goals, box crashing midfielder. I think would be a great sign for Bradford City, but again, I could understand why we might try and avoid this one. Attacking midfield is certainly a position that we need to improve in this January transfer window, and Josh Stokes for me would be a brilliant signing for Bradford City. Currently at Bristol City and still has another 2.5 years left to run on his contract with the football club, so it's certainly not going to be a permanent deal. But at 21 years of age, I think Stokes would be a brilliant loan signing for Bradford City. He has played a couple of times this campaign for Bristol City in the EFL Cup, but that's literally just 42 minutes in that competition. In terms of last season when he was in League One on loan at Cambridge, he did quite well there. 32 appearances, 26 starts, playing 2,356 minutes. He got 7 goals in that season with an 11% goal conversion rate, averaged a goal every 337 minutes, and also registered a further 2 assists. He created 8 big chances, averaged 1.2 key passes per game. For an attacking midfielder, a 70% accurate pass rate as well is very solid. Even going defensively, he'll still put the work in. 1.3 tackles per game, 3.6 balls recovered per game. Okay, understandably, he's not great in the duels, especially aerial duels, but he has a 46% successful dribble rate, a goal scorer, a chance creator. It's exactly what we need in that attacking midfield position to give some real competition for Sarsvik and Poynton, because when they have an off day, Bradford City normally don't win. We definitely, desperately need to improve in that position, and Josh Stokes for me, we have to be all over this one like a rash. We have to sign Josh Stokes on loan this January transfer window. Back to the striker options then, and Sam Smith for me would be a brilliant addition for Bradford City. Again, this one would need to be a loan deal. Still has another 2.5 years left to run on his contract, but at 27 years of age, needs to be playing regular first team football, and he's just not getting that at Wrexham so far this campaign. Obviously, wasn't included in the most recent matchday squad, and I know that Jay Rodriguez has recently been added to their registration, so I'm hoping that he's not picked up an injury. I tried to do my research on all these players as best as possible, but Smith so far this campaign, just the single league start, not even 300 minutes played so far this campaign. He's got 1 goal and no assist, but this man is a proven goal scorer in League One. If we got Sam Smith on loan over the line, we are a championship club next campaign. There is no doubt in my mind that we get promoted. He'd come in, easily get 8 to 12 goals between now and the end of the season. Last campaign, got 18 goals and 2 assists. averaged a goal every 204 minutes, 19% goal conversion rate. The season before that, he got 15 goals and 1 assist. The year before that one, he got 13 goals and 1 assist, and even the year before that one, he managed 15 goals and 1 assist. This man is a proven goal scorer at League One level, and it's exactly what we're crying out for, somebody to stick the ball in the back of the net. We're missing far too many chances at the moment. Wrexham, given the amount of options that they've got at the top end of the pitch, might be keen to get a little bit of the wages off their wage bill. Again, given that it's Wrexham wages we're talking about here, we're not going to be able to afford to pay all of his wages, but surely he's destined for a League One loan in this January transfer window. It could also be Ryan Hardy. There's another option for you as well, but this man just screams goals at League One level and would guarantee his promotion. The wages could be a little bit of a problem though for Bradford City, but what a signing he'd be in my opinion. If you think Charlie Webster is unattainable because of his injury, Ossama Ashley would be, again, something that I mentioned in the summer where he was technically available on a free before Salford triggered his option for a further season. He would be a really good addition for Bradford City in our midfield. A hard-hitting, hard-tackling sort of man. Now, you might be able to see his last appearance came at the end of October, and that is because he also is injured at this moment in time. The article seems to have disappeared, but as we can see here, that Ossama Ashley will be out during the festive period is practically what this reads. He should hopefully be back for January, when then he will be able to complete a medical. Given that he's going to be coming into the final 6 months of his contract, I don't think he'll require a massive transfer fee. 25 years of age, so there's only upside. He's only going to develop and get better, and we saw last campaign what a monster that he was, but even this campaign, in the limited minutes that he's had, he's looked like an absolute machine at the back, in that anchor sort of position to compete with max power. So far this campaign, at 1.8 interceptions per game, 1.6 tackles per game, 4.1 balls recovered per game, 1.9 clearances per game, winning 63% of his ground and aerial duels as well. This man is an absolute monster, and on a permanent deal would be a brilliant signing for Bradford City. My penultimate suggestion then is that in the way of Connor O'Riordan, again another centre-back option. If Will Forrester is a little bit too expensive for Bradford City, this could be a bit more of a cheaper route. Would definitely be an improvement on Neil Byrne, and Grant McCann has already confirmed he will be going back to Blackburn in January. Now, that does slightly ring alarm bells because obviously he's been sent back from a team that's second bottom in League One, but O'Riordan, for me, I think he's got all the attributes to work extremely well in a Graham Alexander system. 6'4", but very comfortable in possession and would do very well as that right centre-back position. We massively need to improve in that department, and this could maybe be a slightly cheaper option if you want to try and get a Sam Smith over the line. You might not then necessarily have the money to go and sign a Will Forrester, so you need to go and get a Connor O'Riordan in on loan. Now, I think it will be a loan deal. I'm not 100% sure how long that he's got left to run on his contract with Blackburn, but at 22 years of age, I think he would come in and provide some decent competition for Bradford City in at that position. So far this campaign, he's played at just shy of 1,600 minutes. Okay, hasn't contributed to a goal yet, but has an 87% accurate pass rate, contributed to 4 clean sheets, 1.1 interceptions per game, 1.5 tackles per game, 3.3 balls recovered per game, and 7 clearances per game as well. He wins 60% of his ground duels, 58% of his aerial duels. For me, statistically, it looks quite solid, and I know watching somebody is very different to how they actually do play, but I remember when, obviously, Bradford City played away at Doncaster in the league back in September, he was absolutely outstanding that day. I don't know if he played actually as a right back maybe, so slightly out of position, but he was brilliant in that game, and I personally think he would be a solid signing for Bradford City. Not one that I'm desperate to get over the line, but he's an option to have. Donning fans, let me know what you think down below. And my final suggestion then is another attacking midfielder, and that is in the way of Rhys Cole, currently playing at Exeter City and is now into the final 6 months of his contract at 27 years of age, coming into his prime years, and I think it would be a smart signing really for Bradford City. So far this campaign has had the odd injury trouble, but recently has returned and obviously scored on that return as well. 14 appearances, 10 starts for him so far this campaign, playing just shy of 850 minutes, where he has scored 3 goals, averaged a goal every 282 minutes with a 17% goal conversion rate, which is a pretty decent return from a attacking midfielder. He's also registered 2 assists so far this campaign and has created 4 big chances in total as well. Defensively, isn't going to bring you loads, but if you're getting goal contributions, that is all that does matter. With a 70% successful dribble rate, okay, you could say that the sample size isn't the greatest, but again, we go back to last campaign where he got 3 goals in that season, and even the year before that where he got 7 goals and 3 assists. Clearly, when this man is playing in League One, if you can keep him fit, if you can keep him available, he's a very, very talented player for this level. And now coming into his prime years, we've seen that Alexander is able to rotate between certain players in his side. He's very good technically, and I think that given that one week we could play a Sarsvik and then the next week you could play a Cole, having that option and proven League One quality is exactly what Bradford City need to be signing in this January transfer window. We've got a very good starting 11, but recently we have started to see a few cracks in those backups and proving why that they are backups for Bradford City. So depth is very important. He wouldn't be the most expensive of transfers either, and I think personally this would be a really smart pickup for Bradford City onto an 18-month contract with an option of a further year. You're probably looking at no more than 100 grand in terms of transfer fee, guarantees goals, guarantees assists. For me, this is a no-brainer. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Bradford City absolutely have to sign these 8 players and them 8 players only, but it's just a bit of fun, some options to put out there for you guys. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Who do you think Bradford City should be signing in this upcoming January transfer window? Thank you all very much for watching. Please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 250 likes, as I said at the start of today's video? Thank you all very much for watching though. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on Boxing Day for the Wigan at home match day vlog, which is looking like it could be a sellout. I also want to thank you for 12,000 subscribers. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you all very much.